You don't know what you don't know.
Sold everything, travel full time in an RV, live and work on the road. You don't know it, you don't know.
Today we're going to talk about how we got started, what we learned along the way, and what we didn't know when we got started.
Right. So let's take you back to how this all started. We were living in Las Vegas in a large house, complete with pool and hot tub. And this was during the pandemic when Dan called me up to the office and said, what if we sold everything, bought an RV, and worked and lived on the road full time?
Now, I came up with this grand idea because I've always wanted to buy an RV. So for years now, before that, Patty and I had gone to RV shows and looked at RVs and stopped in dealerships and that type of thing. But the big thing was working in the entertainment industry, our life changed. We could not work anymore. The Las Vegas Strip was closed down. There was no video or film or television production. And we were just sitting there watching the money go out and nothing coming back.
Now, I gotta say, when he first said this, I literally started laughing because it just sounded absurd. And Dan has come up with some absurd ideas over the years. But as we started talking, and this took probably, I don't know, a month or two, we talked about what this would look like, how this would go, what would we do, how were we going to make money on the road. So we came up with a plan and set some goals.
Now, we had goals. We had a plan. But one of the things that we learned very, very early on was plans change. So we kind of redubbed our planning to our current thought.
Which could change at any moment.
Now, we talked about one of the things that I pitched to Patty of what we would do is we could go out and see all the national parks, really, really treasures, and there's so many to see, so much stuff to do. We are now 2 years into our journey. How many national parks have we seen?
Zero. And we'll talk a little bit about why in a bit.
But the national parks are out there. I promise you in 2023, we're going to do at least one video of a national park. It's just got to happen. But plans change, thoughts change, priorities change. What we thought was really, really cool stuff kind of has moved over the area. Now the second major goal that we had was to start a YouTube channel, grow that YouTube channel, and get zillions of listeners and make zillions and zillions of dollars. Well, here we are 2 years in, and that didn't really happen yet either. Now, we do have a YouTube channel, and we have a quality YouTube channel.
So what we really want to focus on today, and again, we'll talk more about after we talk about the goals we set, is how our thinking about our YouTube channel has changed.
Yeah, we started out thinking that we had to get to that 1,000. And it was really, really important in the YouTube world. 1,000 is a magic number. But we really kind of have changed our thought process and our thinking to, well, it's important, it's just not that important.
Right. Now, the third goal was to spend more quality time with family. We have 5 kids, 4 of them are married, and we have 9 grandkids, and they are scattered across the country, as well as other family, my mom, sisters, brothers. And so one of our goals was to see and not just visit, but go and spend quality time. And that has been a goal that we did accomplish over the last 2 years. I'm happy to say that over the last 2 years, we have spent more quality time with all of our family than we had in years past. So that's great. And if that goal is the only goal we achieved in the last 2 years, I'm pretty happy about it.
1 out of 3.
1 out of 3, and not too terribly bad.
Right. And visiting time, and time is, I consider it our most valuable asset. Time is what it's all about. So I think it's important that we have been able to spend as much time as we have, not just with one or two, but with all 9 of the grandkids.
Right. And that will continue. Clearly, that'll continue to be part of the rest of this year and into the coming years. That's always a priority on our list of things to do.
Now, I'm using my glasses because we have some notes. There's a lot of things that we wanted to cover today. Let's talk a little bit more about the YouTube channel and how our thoughts have changed on what we do and how we do it.
And so the reason that I really decided that I wanted us to do this video is because at the time of the filming, we are approaching the 1,000 subscriber number. But what I realized over the last year is that that number isn't as important to us as the comments we've gotten, the people we've connected to, the people we've inspired. We've got messages of, wow, Loretta Caverns is amazing. We have people that will tell us, I'll never be able to get there, but it was great to come along for the ride. We've had others say that, you showed us the Turkey Hill experience. That's where you could go in and really experience ice cream from a whole different level.
Right.
And just people that were really amazed by it and decided that they had to go check it out for themselves. We listen to and look at every comment, everybody that shares or sends us a comment, whether it's on the channel or privately, and we listen to every suggestion, I'll call them.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that we do while we travel around the country is we do seminars and we speak at different RV events and that type of thing. And just to point out, what you were just saying, at the Hershey event, we were doing a seminar on trip planning and how to trip plan. Well, the comments that we got on day 1 and day 2, we actually sat down and changed the seminar for the better, mind you, for day 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
So I think it's important that we do those kind of things. But when we started, we were doing videos so we could put 2 videos a week up, and we were sometimes doing videos that they just weren't us. They weren't our thing. We weren't thrilled about them. And I think that that's one thing that we really learned throughout the year is you got to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
You really have to understand and love what you're doing. So we kind of, after about a year, changed our format, and now we do videos of the things that we love. And one of the things is like that format. We were doing videos on all sorts of things.
Right.
And now we've kind of boxed it down into little teensy areas where we go and experience cool places. Like where we are right now, we're in Montrose, Virginia.
Right.
And it's in Westmoreland County. Do you know that 3 presidents, not 1, not 2, 3 presidents were born in this county right here? There must be something in the water. It's got to be something.
Yes.
But 3 presidents, that's just an incredible number to me.
And I think that's a great point because we were so focused on getting a video out there and giving people what we thought they wanted instead of what was exciting. We never would have visited Montrose, Virginia, of
Right.
all places. It's this small little town, but it's so rich in history. It's quaint. The people here are amazing. And so it opens up a whole nother world just going with what we truly enjoy.
Right. Now we're shooting this video at a little coffee shop, which we love, little coffee shops and little diners and little restaurants. It's called The Art of Coffee. We just spoke with the owner and the girls at the counter. It feels like we've been coming here every week for a long, long time. So anyway, we do videos now on cool places that we find along the way, and we do a lot of campground reviews. And we found that by doing these campground reviews, I can't tell you how many people have called us, have commented on the videos, have left comments on social media, outside of YouTube, and saying thank you so much for that campground review.
Right.
You know?
And again, we get feedback from people, and you got to take the positive comments and the negative. We take it all in as feedback, and we decide what we're doing and how and if we need to change something. Our videos, we've talked to people that said, I really want to see what it's like when I pull in. So we do things like that in our campground reviews, showing people the details.
Yeah, and another thing that we've done after this first year, in the second year, we kind of changed the way we shoot things. As opposed to like having you come along on the ride and watch us do things, we try very hard to shoot from the perspective of bringing the viewer along with us. Like you're a third person along with us. So you're gonna see what happens in the campgrounds and in the attractions and in the towns.
And truly feel the experience is what we're going for. Now I wanted to talk about, we talked about videos that really, places that we went, videos that we did that we wanted to do.
The third kind or type of video. Now remember, when we started, we were all over the place. We were just shooting videos.
Right.
We're really kind of focused now on events, attractions, cool places, campground reviews, and now that third kind of video that we do is really kind of mindset. It talks about what are you thinking, what's your motivation, where are you going, inspirational, not religious inspiration, but inspiration of get out and do something.
Right, so when we started the YouTube channel, just to back up a little bit, our goal, when I said to Dan, okay, we'll start a YouTube channel, we'll visit every national park, but how does that go along with what we are and who we're about, which was to inspire people. And so we decided that the videos were to inspire people to go out, live life fully, find things to do, experiences. And again, this was prompted by the fact that a lot of people were stuck in the house. But even today, as people aren't as stuck in the house, sometimes just being in your own little area, you think, oh, there's nothing to do today. And maybe we create a video of a place like Montrose, Virginia, that somebody didn't think of, that they say, hey, let's go take a ride there.
Right.
Let's experience that.
And I think what this change in us, and it happened about a year in for us, maybe a little less than a year in for us, but we really started, and you can see for those of you that watch a lot of our videos, we end our videos with enjoy the journey. Enjoying the journey. That's what it's all about. It's not about just leaving your house and getting to point A or B or C. It's about the stuff that's in between. It's about living every minute of every day. And I think that stuff was just really, really so important. And also, the opportunities that have come across. We've got to do some incredible things in the last 2 years.
Absolutely. So again, with the YouTube channel, and thinking about this 1,000 and how important, we've really stayed open to meeting people and connecting with people, and that led us to opportunities, as Dan is saying. So many things that we've been able to do and see, and maybe get some background information or behind the scenes so that people can see that, as well.
Exactly. And we're going to break down some of those opportunities we've had, some of the things that we've done. We're going to do that in just a minute. But I just want to say that, by being open and changing our mindset and changing we've had more opportunities hit us. We were asked to host the podcast for RV Life. It's called the RV Life Podcast. It starts in November. We've recorded about 4 or 5 episodes so far at this point that, as we're recording this. But something that hit me really strong, I think it hit you really strong too, is something that some friends of ours, and they're called the
Status Crows.
Status Crows.
And that's
okay.
Chuck and Michelle.
Chuck and Michelle.
Shout out to them.
We met them a year ago at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. They are a couple, they're full-time RVers, and they sing, they're a group, they go and do gigs all over the country. Just really, really cool people. So if you ever see around, you want to look them up and check them out. We'll put a link in the description below so you can see where they are and their schedule and all that kind of stuff. But Chuck said something that just hit me really, really hard in the podcast interview the other day.
He said, when we asked him, what would you tell yourself if you could go back? Now, they've been on the road full time for 5 years. If you could go back to day one, what would you tell yourself? And he said, take your time. And that really hit us because that was certainly something that big time we learned. When we first started out, we had this plan to do all these things, and this is just the way it felt.
Yeah.
We got to get this done. We got to see this. We're in this area, so we got to, as if we were never going to be back to the area. So we wanted to do everything we could possibly do. And we quickly learned, maybe 6 months or more in, to just take your time, relax, enjoy the journey, be where you are. So a lot of people, they're on the road, they're in a place thinking about their next place. And that's what enjoying the journey is really about. Be where you are.
Be present.
Be present, be where you are, and what you're going to do tomorrow is tomorrow.
Slowing down is so important. And let me just show you an example. Our first 3-4 months, we started out in Nevada. We spent a month at Lake Mead, and then we decided to head across the country to Philadelphia, which we did. And we were in Philadelphia for 3 or 4 weeks, and we got a call and said, we have a business deal. We need you back in Nevada. So we turned around and came back to Nevada. And when the business deal was done, we turned around and said, well, we were in Pennsylvania, let's go back to Pennsylvania. So we crossed the country 3 times. We had a lot of time to do that, and we probably drove a lot of extra miles doing that kind of stuff.
And sometimes you have situations where you feel like you have to. Now we kind of stop and again, slow down, make sure we're enjoying the journey. Think about that idea of just driving across the country. So that's, that's all part of taking your time. And
well, we were always on such a tight schedule. We didn't stop and see some of the things that we wanted to do.
And we sometimes are on a tight schedule. So, and again, we spoke about this with many other people. We have certain hard dates. We have, we had speaking in
Seattle,
Hershey, in Hershey. And those are dates that are absolutes. But now we plan some cushion time, some enjoy the journey time, some stop and smell the roses and see the cute little towns, stop by the little coffee shop. We do more of that now.
Now, we talked a little bit about how the 1,000 and getting monetized, it's a priority, but it's just not a top priority for us anymore. We are, though, very grateful for the opportunities that have come about because of the YouTube channel and because we were able to go and cover events. Let's start out and just talk about a couple of the events that we have, but let's start out in Reno. There's one you didn't even want to go.
And that's true. So Dan talked about the Reno Air Show. We were in Bend, Oregon at the time, so it was natural progression down to Reno. And I just couldn't see what I was going to do for 5 days. I like planes, I like learning about the history, but 5 days of this sounded a little too much. So at that moment, knowing how important it was for Dan, because when there are 2 or more of you traveling, it's give and take. That might be a topic for another show, but I took a step back and I said, okay, let's see what this could be, and just stayed open to the opportunity.
Right.
And I said, instead of just filming every airplane race and every single kind of plane, which we did cover, you could see it in the video, but what else is there? What else can we show our audience to inspire them, to show them something behind the scenes they might not be seeing. And we met some amazing people.
Really, Eric Tucker, a stunt pilot, he's a corporate pilot, but not just Eric. We didn't meet just Eric. We met his whole family. We kind of immersed ourselves in with the Tucker family, and wow, just incredible. We met Cycle Bikes, and we now have a long-term relationship with Cycle e-bikes. We love our e-bikes. We just love them.
Yes.
Changed our lives.
Yes.
They really have changed our lives.
Staying open is so important. We talk about some place that we want to go or something we want to do, an event, or travel somewhere, and we really kind of have to talk it out and again be open to. I'm always looking for the other angle, like the YouTube channel for me, as well as the podcast now. The goal is to inspire people. The podcast gives us another format to do that, but to show people or talk about the things that maybe aren't talked about as much by others. So that's really important.
Right. Another event that we got through the YouTube channel that we probably wouldn't have done if we didn't have a YouTube channel was the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. And I gotta tell you, that might be the top thing that I've ever done in my, not to brag, but I've done a lot of things in my life, and I've gone to a lot of places, and I've jumped off buildings, and but I gotta tell you, the Albuquerque balloon and being able to crew on a balloon and meet Tommy and Tommy's the pilot that we crewed on his balloon. I just think that was an experience like no other.
Absolutely, and again, it's about making the connections. When we started out, I believe our thought was, if we have this big YouTube channel, then we'll be able to do these things, these events. But it's been quite the opposite. We've made connections with people, and that's where I think I started thinking, okay, so yes, we'd love to get to 1,000. Let's get real on YouTube and keep growing from there. But the opportunities that we've had when we first started out, before we even started the YouTube channel, we did a couple videos. We said, okay, let's go out and do some videos. Didn't have the RV, and we had the producer from
the CW network.
CW network in Las Vegas that said, this is great. Do 4 episodes for us of a TV show. I was pretty shocked.
I know.
And that was an amazing opportunity.
And that was just from shooting test videos for the YouTube channel.
Right.
We just went out and did day trips and did some test videos, and we got 4 episodes. You can find those. We'll put links in the description, but somewhere on the YouTube channel, if you look through the videos, you'll find the CW show. There's 4 episodes. And again, the thought there was just, even during COVID, get out and do something. There's things that you can do safely, and that's what we were looking at and trying to do there. Now, we've also had opportunities to speak at several RV shows, and we just love going to RV shows and meeting people, talking to them, and it's just been great.
Yeah, it's about education. I was a teacher for 20 years, so it's, educating is a big thing for me. Dan worked as a professor at Villanova, story for another time, but educating people, teaching them what we've learned. But we've learned so much when we talk to people in the audience, the questions we get. It's a constant learning process. But being in Seattle and the people we met and, just sharing our experience has been, that was amazing. I mean, I love doing that.
It really is. And all of these experiences led us to a relationship with RV Life and RV Trip Wizard, who are our sponsors. But that led us to becoming the host of the RV Life podcast, with the goals there to educate, entertain, and explore the RV lifestyle, explore the RV lifestyle. So you know, all those things are great. So we'll put a link to the podcast. You can get it on any of the podcast channels, Spotify, Apple, whoever you use your podcast on. You can see or hear our podcast there.
I just want to say here, and again, a teaching moment. We've met a lot of people,
Yep.
a lot of people along our journey. And, you know, there are those people that you meet and you never talk to again, and that's okay. But there are those people, and I just want to say, Patrick from RV Life, there was an immediate connection.
Yes.
It was a connection of similar goals, beliefs, things, thoughts, ideas. And that is one of the places where I've realized how many we had on our YouTube channel didn't matter to him. Who we were did.
Yes.
And that, you know, if anything, as part of our journey, people say, what have you enjoyed about the last 2 years? They ask me that a lot because I had never even really been camping prior to going full time in an RV. So people say, well, do you still like it? And what do you like best? Yes, I still like it. And I think the best part of it is the people that we've met, the stories we've heard,
Right.
the connections. I think that's probably at the top of my list.
Yeah, you know, I think of the connections that we made and the silly little things that have happened along the way. We were actually in Northern California and we stopped at a Mexican restaurant with the RV out in front. Patty ran in to get food because we were on our way to, of all things, a lavender farm. A lavender farm? How cool was that? But we got an instant message right there, or whatever you call those things. And you know, the people said, oh, we just saw you. We'd love to stop and talk to you. Those kind of...
They were running after us.
They were running after us.
We didn't know until it was too late.
And like being in a campground and having somebody walk by and say, are you Dan Hunt? And you know, those kind of things, it's just so great because, you know, Dave is that person that did that. And he and I sat out there and talked until midnight that night. We just sat out at the table until it got too cold to stay out. So those kinds of things and talking with people and I just love that stuff. I love doing that stuff and I love being able to live this lifestyle. I really feel like I wasted the first 3/4 of my life because all of a sudden I feel so alive and we do so many things and we go so many places and meet so many people. Let's close this up today and talk about advice. What advice would we give people now, besides Chuck's advice to slow down? I mean, the best advice in the world. Best advice in the world. Take your time, slow down.
We always say, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
People ask us all the time, you know, they'll say, I want to start a YouTube channel. What advice do you have? And as we were thinking about this talk today, the advice that I give for people doing a YouTube channel is the same advice I give anybody for anything they're looking to do, and that is do what you love. So like starting a YouTube channel, what's the best advice? Start by doing videos you love. Not what you think is going to get 1 million views, not what you think somebody wants to see, hear, because you never know, but do what you love. And I think that's the same thing as best you can within your life constraints, doing what you love.
Now, whether you're starting a YouTube channel or not, you just have your social media, you're starting the RV lifestyle, you've been in the RV lifestyle for 5 years. These next few things that we're going to talk about, I just think are important for everybody, especially in the RV lifestyle. Ask questions of people. You know, you park, you camp next to people all the time. There is a wealth of information out there.
Yes, and if you're just starting out or maybe not in those campgrounds yet, get on the groups for RVers.
Yeah.
We have a Monaco, our RV is a Monaco, so we're in those groups asking questions. And I'll be honest, if somebody knocks you down or insults you, move on. Just move on to somebody else, you're gonna have that. But asking questions, don't feel too silly or it's a dumb question. There are no dumb questions, just ask.
The next thing is build a community. And when I say build a community, it's not like you want to have a bunch of people around you all the time and travel in big groups. No, we have built lifelong friends, John and Terry. They live in Seattle. They RV about half of the year. We've met them 3 or 4 times around the country,
Right.
but we talk to them all the time and we bounce ideas and thoughts off each other.
Yes. And when we say community, and as he mentions 2 people, I had a list in my head of people. So we have some great people that we talk to about the struggles of being in an RV. We talk to people about something broke on the RV. You're going to have that. So having
Yes.
that community of people is invaluable.
A plan.
And let's talk about having a plan. And
Well, a current thought.
okay, so let's talk about that. When we started out, we had stuff planned, and I say stuff, and there was all these plans, and it felt like, okay, we have to plan. How do you go on the road and not plan? And day 1 of our maiden voyage,
Yep.
it changed. And our good friends Neil and Marianne in Albuquerque, New Mexico are amazing. And she said, it's not really a plan, it's more like a current thought. And as you know, current thoughts are ever changing.
Right.
Being able to have something of a plan and changing, being flexible in this lifestyle, probably in life overall, is so
Right.
important.
Right.
It's not a failure if you have a plan and it doesn't work. Be flexible.
Very, very flexible. Also, go to events, go to shows, go to RV rallies, go to RV shows. Those types of things are really, really, really important in the RV lifestyle.
They are. And so we've done 2 RV shows, as we've talked about, again, sharing knowledge, but just walking around and asking people, meeting people while you're there. And the next thing, reach out to us. We don't have all the answers. I don't think we have anywhere near all the answers, but reach out, ask a question. I answer every message on social media, on YouTube, private messages. I answer all of them. Reach out, ask a
We
question.
answer all of them.
It's me. But he does all the editing, so it's a fair trade. If we don't know and we have a resource, we'll direct you to a resource.
Right.
Sometimes I find in the RV world, you need more than one thought from people. So please don't hesitate, reach out. Love to hear your comments.
And, a little selfish type, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Even any kind of comment really, really helps the algorithm like us better and put us out there to more people and all that kind of stuff. So,
one of the things I love is when we meet somebody, say at this coffee shop in Montrose, Virginia, to say, hey, we met you there. We have people doing that, and it's just cool to look back and say, oh yeah, I remember them. They were really great.
and in the next year, 2023, YouTube just opened up this thing called the community page, and we're going to start being a lot more active and putting things out on that community page. So love to have you join us on that community page as well. We are currently in Montrose, Virginia. It's down in what they call the northern neck of Virginia, so I guess it's just a little outlet of it. It is a place where 3 presidents were born. 3 of our United States presidents were born right here in this county. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patty Hunt, saying have a great rest of today.
And an even better day tomorrow.